Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs will come to order. Today's hearing, again, is in a hybrid format. Witnesses are in person. Thank you both for being there. I know you have busy schedules, including today, so thank you. Members have the option to appear in person or virtually, as you know. Vladimir Putin's war in Ukraine has massacred innocent civilian communities, leveled cities, weaponized food and energy sources, imperiled the security of a nuclear facility, and jeopardized the future of a sovereign democracy. His actions also, we know, threaten global order, drawing a clear distinction between those who stand for democracy and rule of law and the forces of repression and tyranny. But there are two things that Putin did not count on. First, the resilience and strength of the spirit of the Ukrainian people on clear display last week again when the Ukrainian military retook Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city. Second, the ability of President Biden to assemble and lead a broad, unified coalition of allies and to keep that coalition together. This administration, with bipartisan and bicameral support from Congress, has spearheaded a forceful, comprehensive, and multilateral response to support the Ukrainian people and to isolate Russia. Today's hearing examines the economic piece of the administration's strategy. This hearing follows on the committee's work in evaluating our sanctions policy, as we did last year at a hearing on Treasury sanctions review, and a hearing this past July where we heard from the Commerce Department on its expansive restrictions on exports to Russia. Because we're united, our efforts are beginning to work. As Secretary of State Blinken said the other week, Putin thought he would divide and weaken NATO. Again, Putin was wrong. His actions have led to NATO's growth. We're now poised to welcome Sweden and Finland. His actions led to NATO's growth, reminding the world the vital role this alliance of democracies plays. In America, increasing the world is wise to Russian propaganda. This administration has corralled an unprecedented multilateral coalition, which includes our European partners and other allied countries, to impose one of the most comprehensive sets of economic sanctions in recent years. These measures aim to limit trade and financial regulations with Russia, to penalize corrupt Russian oligarchs for supporting Vladimir Putin, and to cripple Russia's economy, cutting off support for funding this brutal and immoral war. We've dramatically escalated this economic effort, and it's impacting every sector. Sanctions against a number of major Russian banks, dozens of Russian officials and Putin associates, expanded export controls that restricts Russia's access to the technologies needed to sustain its aggressive military capabilities, limitations on imports of Russian energy products, even the seizure of the $300 million yacht owned by a sanctioned Russian oligarch. The impact of the administration's smart and targeted economic measures has rippled throughout the Russian economy, damaging their defense industrial base. Ukrainian troops have found Russian military equipment rigged with semiconductors that appear to have been taken out of home appliances like dishwashers and refrigerators. As we pass the 6-month mark of the war, we welcome back Elizabeth Rosenberg, who serves as Assistant Secretary for Terrorist Financing and Financial Crimes at the Department of Treasury, and welcome Andrew Adams, Director of the Klepto Capture Task Force at the Department of Justice. We look forward to hearing from the witnesses about the economic sanctions designed to weaken Russia's economy and about our efforts to pursue Russian oligarchs' assets. We're making it increasingly difficult for Putin to fund his brutal war in the face of a shrinking Russian economy and its isolation on the global stage. We must maintain the pressure of our many sanctions regimes. We must keep the coalition intact. With so much of Russia's revenue coming from energy sales, I look forward to hearing more from the witnesses today about the intended impact and status of the price cap negotiations. Just last week, I met with a group of Ukrainian Americans from Ohio. My state is proud to have a vibrant, active Ukrainian community. Their message was clear: we cannot lose the momentum. We must continue to hold the Russian government and sanctions evaders responsible. The multilateral coalition, which President Biden adeptly assembled, rolled out a sweeping series of rules designed to degrade Russia's military and technological capabilities. We will not let up while Russia continues to threaten the sovereignty of Ukraine. Senator Toomey.